Why do you seek emotional pain in relationships? The self-destructive behaviors in relationships. Why do we knowingly act out in relationships, even though we're aware it's harmful? Why do we engage in destructive behaviors, constantly pushing our partner's boundaries? And when our partner, overwhelmed, wants to end the relationship, why do we cling to them, crying and begging? This self-destructive emotional pattern stems from two main reasons: unresolved childhood trauma and traumatic repetition. The first is unresolved childhood trauma. In psychology, there's a concept called traumatic repetition. Our subconscious mind tends to recreate the traumatic experiences from our early years, even if they don't exist in our current reality. We place ourselves in situations where trauma could potentially recur. For instance, if your mother always opposed everything you did as a child, your subconscious might have grown accustomed to feeling unsupported and disrespected. As an adult, if you encounter a supportive and understanding partner, you might feel uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. To alleviate this discomfort, you might seek out the familiar feeling of rejection. You might interpret your partner's encouragement as insincere, believing they haven't seriously considered the pros and cons of your decisions. This perception can breed resentment in your partner, leading them to criticize you. While others might see this as harmful, you find comfort in it because it mirrors your childhood experiences. This is traumatic repetition. Essentially, your subconscious has become addicted to pain. That's why you continually engage in self-destructive behaviors in relationships, seeking to recreate those childhood feelings. Lack of security and splitting defense mechanism. The second reason is an extreme lack of security, triggering a defense mechanism known as splitting. If your parents were constantly arguing, emotionally distant, or dismissive of your feelings, you likely didn't develop a sense of security. In intimate relationships, this manifests as insecurity, leading to dramatic behavior. The root cause is this insecurity triggering a splitting defense mechanism. People with this defense mechanism seem to have both an angel and a demon residing within them. In the early stages of a relationship, they suppress their demon side, presenting only their angelic qualities. However, as the relationship deepens, the demon occasionally emerges, causing destruction. They alternately express a desire for closeness and extreme rejection. While they genuinely like their partner, their actions push them away. They might exhibit strong controlling tendencies, constantly wanting to know what their partner is doing. If their partner is slow to respond to messages, they become upset, blocking or deleting them, then waiting to be appeased. Their inner insecurity makes it impossible to trust anyone, including their partner. In their eyes, anyone could leave at any moment, so they continually test their partner's sincerity. At the slightest hint of neglect, they preemptively defend themselves to avoid getting hurt. This results in emotional instability, easy frustration, and frequent anger. At its core, it's a desire to be seen and valued, driven by that underlying insecurity. Identifying and breaking the cycle. People who seek emotional pain in relationships may appear strong and have high self-esteem, but they're actually quite fragile internally. They're likely to repeat this pattern in multiple relationships. If you recognize yourself in this description, how can you break free from this cycle? First, understand the two reasons behind this self-destructive behavior: unhealed inner trauma, your inner child hasn't grown up, and difficulty trusting others due to strong defenses. In psychoanalysis, there's a saying: awareness is healing. Recognizing your issues is half the battle towards change. When you feel the urge to seek emotional pain in a relationship, you can stop yourself. You can then make targeted changes, learning to lower your defenses and establish effective communication with your partner to express your needs and feelings. Building healthy relationships. The key is to avoid excessive defensiveness and denial in relationships, while also not being overly needy or subservient. Remember, we seek happiness in intimate relationships, not pain. By constantly putting yourself in situations where you're emotionally hurt, you're setting your relationship up for a cycle of suffering. In such dysfunctional relationships, no one emerges unscathed. If you enjoyed this series, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your free likes are the greatest encouragement for me. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.